Yes, welcome everyone inside the Parc des Princes again, which is quite a sight. They really know how to put on a show here in the French capital, in this brilliant stadium, this distinctive stadium with its curved concrete struts on the outside, and inside it is all red, white and blue. The players are down there on the pitch, tracksuit tops on. I noticed Gianluigi Donnarumma as the Champions League anthem played, standing with one arm raised in the air, and the Arsenal players now moving from left to right over the halfway line, the handshakes. Arsenal, who know that they must win tonight or they will be out of the Champions League, and there will be no Munich final for Mikel Arteta and his team, and it will be Paris Saint-Germain, not Arsenal, who will play in a second Champions League final. But again, so much on the line tonight. PSG with a 1-0 lead from last week at the Emirates, but these two big clubs, big hitters in European football, neither of them has won this trophy before. The teams just gather round and are having their photographs taken in front of the two banners, the two badges, the club badges, which are on the pitch either side of the UEFA Champions League logo. And then the Arsenal players just move away, and it's a final chance to have a swig of water and get ready for what Arsenal feel, Matt Upson, will have to be a special night.
Oh, it will have to be special for many, many of the players. They've got to deliver, and like Jules said before, I think that every player on that pitch is going to have a top game against this team. I mean, I just love this stadium, John. It's got such a gritty feel to it. I mean, the firework smoke is just clearing. It all adds to the atmosphere and the noise. It's a special place for a game like this.
Well, I know you and I feel the same way, because there is quite a lot of talk at the moment about PSG moving away, building a new stadium.
I couldn't believe it.
Out of the city centre. They've got something very, very special here, but I suppose only 50,000 in a city like Paris. They probably feel that they need to have a super stadium.
Well, yeah, it just makes it a more exclusive ticket if you get one.
So the teams are just swapping ends. So actually Arsenal, who are going across to their supporters who are in the corner, and this is the reaction to that. And the Arsenal fans in that section, that triangular, upended triangular section behind the netting, they've got their red and white scarves, they're twirling them around, the Arsenal banners. I see a royal standard in there as well with the Arsenal badge on it, and the players go into a huddle as close as they can towards that corner of the ground. So the teams tonight, as we've discussed, Ousmane Dembele, PSG's top scorer, 33 goals, scored the goal in the first leg. An enormous explosion goes off as the red flares are lit in the end to our left. PSG with Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Mendes, the familiar now back four, familiar middle three as well, Vitinha, João Neves and Fabian Ruiz. And then the front three, expectation is that Désiré Doué will play through the middle, the 19-year-old, with Bradley Barcola and Kavica Kvaratskhelia in the wide positions. We'll just see how that does settle down. Right now it's Barcola who's over the ball in the centre circle, actually. And Arsenal's team tonight, Trossard's on the bench, but there is the whistle from Felix Zweier, the German referee, and he gets us underway, and PSG immediately hit the ball down the right-hand side, and it's out of play for a throw. So the Arsenal team, Raya in goal, Timber is fit, big doubt, but he plays. Saliba and Kivior and Lewis Skelly at left back, then Partey, suspended for the first leg last week, Partey, Odegaard and Rice, and then Saka and Martinelli either side of Mikel Merino playing as the auxiliary striker. And here's Bukayo Saka now for the first time for Arsenal, taking the ball on, but he can't get past Nuno Mendes, who clears it actually, and it bounces into Saka, and then his right foot, he gives it away. So Arsenal back in possession with Partey, then it's up to Merino. Partey goes in with a high foot on Fabian Ruiz, the ball bounces very high in the air, and then Odegaard, as he attempted to bring it down, it ran away from him, and PSG have got it back on the edge of their box.
Well, I'm assuming Arsenal won the toss and decided to change ends just to unsettle. That's the first little sign that they're going to try and unsettle this PSG team, and they've started the game in a fashion of we're going to make it physical. They've gone long, they've kicked the ball quite high, they want to make it a bit scrappy. They've got to turn it into a physical battle.
Yeah, and remember after Villa Park, Luis Enrique said that his team are not the biggest of teams.
No.
And Villa in that second half made things uncomfortable for them.
I mean, they punch above their weight, really, John, physically, this Paris team. They do a great job physically, given the stature, but I think it's an area that Arsenal really have to try and exploit.
Marino through the middle, long pass forward from Raya, flicked it on with his head, and then Marquinhos is able to win a throw-in for PSG in the right back area. And Marquinhos, the captain, great servant for this club. 12 years a PSG player, 5 years as captain. He clenches his fist to the supporters who respond with another enormous cheer. Arsenal, red and white shirts, white shorts, and it's being brought forward from the back by Saliba, forward of the centre circle, but then to Timber, and then Timber rolls it into the path of Saka down the right wing. Saka cutting infield, but the challenge comes in on him. It was Kvaratskhelia, but he's dispossessed by Timber. Chance to cross into the penalty area, and it's headed wide on the edge of the 6-yard box by Declan Rice, who holds his head. He had a defender there with him, but he couldn't direct it on target.
Wow, big chance for Declan Rice. Gets good contact on the ball, really gets up high. I mean, it's Timber that won the ball back, gets it down the line and crosses it. Really nice flighted ball into the box, and yeah, really good effort from Rice.
First chance of the match. PSG 0, Arsenal 0. This is 5 Live. Remember, you can listen to all BBC Radio 5 Live included via BBC Sounds if you're on the move, via the BBC Sounds app. Here's Martinelli. We've already seen one excellent piece of tackling back from him. Now he's heading in the right direction. Martinelli down the left-hand side, and in comes the challenge from Hakimi, which puts it out of play, and referee Zavia says the final touch was off the PSG man. So it's a throw-in for Arsenal. Made a good start.
Proper start from Arsenal, I have to say. Confident, aggressive, taking the game to Paris, both Martinelli on one side and Saka on the other.
Long throw. Arsenal conceded from a long throw against Bournemouth on Saturday night. Let's see what they can do with this one. Long from Partey into the penalty area. Bundled out, saved by Donnarumma. The chance from close range, arriving in the 6-yard box. And it was saved by Donnarumma. And I think it was Martinelli who was the player who got the contact in between all of those blue shirts, but Donnarumma kept it out with his first save of the night.
Well, big talking point before the game was the PSG goalkeeper, and so early on he's delivered a brilliant reaction save down to his left. I mean, there's so many bodies in the box. Brilliant long throw in, and he just has to react. I mean, the ball's bouncing towards him, but it's just the reaction to palm it away.
And it was Martinelli who's still in there.
Good run, wasn't it?
Yeah, excellent. And that could easily have been 1-0 as well. So strong start from Arsenal, but still 0-0. So PSG 1-0 up on the night. All for the right to play Inter in the final. 3 weeks on Saturday. You'll hear that with us on 5 Live. As Arsenal come forward again, the ball clipped right across the penalty area. Martinelli gets it down, still in the box. Martinelli, right foot cross. That's headed away by Nuno Mendes, and then further away. PSG really being put under pressure here by Arsenal in the early stages, and confounding what we've seen here, the evidence of our eyes when we were here with Manchester City and with Liverpool and with Aston Villa as well. This is their 8th match, PSG, against English clubs in the Champions League this season. Here is Rice playing the ball to the right hand side. Odegaard. Then Saka is challenged, might have been fouled. Yes, he was, by Nuno Mendes, and that's a free kick near the halfway line.
You get the impression that Bukayo Saka is going to have to do something a little bit different to his normal game this evening. He's had 2 kind of one-on-ones against Mendes in the left-back position, who's just outstanding in those duels. And I think he's going to have to find a different type of movement, a different solution to be impactful in this game, because him and Kvaratskhelia really double up well defensively on that side.
Yes, and here he is again as Timber gives it to Saka, and it's Saka running at Nuno Mendes, and then infield away from Vitinha. Still Saka on the ball, 25 yards out, and he just with his left foot, finds Martinelli, who's on the left flank. Martinelli takes on, beats Hakimi to the byline, tried to pull it back, but Hakimi, the recovering Hakimi, was able to block it behind. Another corner to Arsenal, first corner of the match to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a shame. He did what he needed to do. He kind of wriggled his way past Hakimi and then didn't quite take the ball with him. Martinelli got it caught under his feet, so he couldn't get his head up and find the cut back. There was players arriving in and around the penalty spot, but really good early signs from Arsenal. Martinelli and Saka both getting a lot of ball in that wide area.
So a set piece chance for Arsenal. You know the danger of that. PSG well aware of it. Declan Rice to take this, just leans forward and pulls his socks right up, raises his left arm. Rice with the delivery of the corner to the back post. Donnarumma comes and gets a punch on that. Beyond the far post. Players, he didn't care. The big 6'5" Italian goalkeeper was going to get to that ball come what may, and in amongst the crowd of players he punched it out for a throw.
You don't see many goalkeepers go and get that ball so far deep. I mean, he went a long way there, Donnarumma. Big decision to go positive, but if you make that call and then you go and punch it as well as what he did, it was the right call.
Another long throw, they're testing them, blocked out to the edge of the area. Odegaard! Oh, it's saved! Saved by Donnarumma. That was an excellent save. That came through a crowd of players. Down to his right, he flung himself at it and was able to turn it around the post. That was hit with some power from Odegaard as well.
Wow, Arsenal can't believe they're not level in this tie. What a save down to the left. It bobbles out to the edge of the box. Super hit from Odegaard, keeps it low. Absolutely perfect, but what a reaction. And again, it's that low to the left-hand side. I mean, how quickly he can get down Donnarumma.
The pace that shot was hit.
Through the bodies as well, John. You know, he couldn't have been perfectly sighted to see that ball, but what a reaction. I mean, he's laying in a heap on the floor at the moment. He's not got up from that save.
No, he's down on his back. Whether he was winded by it, I'm not sure, because he went down with some force as well, because he had to. He had to go down very, very quickly, and shot on the edge of the penalty area. I mean, the ball was a blur.
It's a brilliant start from Arsenal. I mean, they couldn't have started this game any better. The confidence, the belief is going to give the team to think we can go on and win this tie. I mean, it's just something that PSG are going to have to have a look at. I think they're really pleased that they're having a bit of a break here, PSG. They've got a little bit of time just to have a chat with each other and get settled into this game.
And there's the cheer because Donnarumma is on his feet. They sent out their Russian goalkeeper, Matvey Safonov, who played at the weekend when they made 10 changes and lost to Liam Rossigna's Strasbourg on Saturday. But all of the big guns are back, with the exception of Dembele, who's on the bench. Whether we'll see him remains to be seen. But Arsenal continuing this excellent start, still in the first 10 minutes, still 0-0, but they could easily have scored one, maybe two goals. Corner then in towards the near post from Saka. That's headed back out to the far side. It's just cleared, clouted really with his left foot up in the air by Fabian Ruiz, and then it's out of play for another throw. And here we go again, the long throw, clear tactic tonight.
Yep. They're just setting it up. They're making this game as ugly and as physical as they possibly can, but they've had real flashes of quality in and around it so far.
Kivior comes up, he's at the near post. Marino's buzzing around. Here's the long flat throw from Partey. That's headed away to the edge of the area. Odegaard with a shot, that's blocked. Bounces back out. Partey lifts it across. Marino tries to get there. That's won in the air by Pacho for Paris Saint-Germain. Martinelli, well defended. Very difficult that was a super throw from Partey, and then Lewis Skelly is challenged and stays down, and PSG are off now, finally on the attack again. They've survived the pressure, but Hakimi, the groans from the PSG fans, told the story. The low cross, far too close to Raya, who was almost able to pick it up like a back pass.
Yeah, I think it's a case of sometimes too much time. Had a lot of time to get his head up. Declan Rice does brilliantly. He makes the run back into the defensive left-back position, which allows Saliba to stay in the box. I mean, Saliba decided that very early on he wasn't going to come out, because if he left that area, Arsenal were in big trouble, and it just panned out all right for them.
So it's still 0-0. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Arsenal 0, but we've already seen very good saves from Donnarumma, from Martinelli, and from Odegaard to add to the saves that he made in the first leg when he kept a clean sheet at the Emirates. Arsenal, who have never come through a European tie when they've lost the first leg at home. 5 previous instances of that, Arsenal have gone out on every occasion. So history is against them, but this is a unique night and they've started very well. The only thing they're lacking is a goal, but they have won another throw-in. So it's throw-in number 3, long throw number 3. These are as good as corners. Partey standing way off the pitch. A big wind-up. Here he comes. The long throw with power into the edge of the 6-yard box. Marquinhos heads that away. It's nodded back out by Saliba to Partey, who's able to control this. And Partey dummies to cross, then takes it away. Low ball in with his left foot, but straight into the path of João Neves, who is able to control that. And between them, Hakimi and João Neves are able to win a throw-in. Hakimi playing it off Martinelli and out for a throw. PSG 0, Arsenal 0. 5 live from the BBC.
I like Martinelli's start to the game. He really has taken it to Hakimi, unsettled him, tried to rough him up. Every time he's got the ball, he's knocked it outside of him, tried to run. He's really asking a question of the fullback and putting him under pressure.
Honestly, Matt, PSG have barely been out of their own half.
No, all we've been doing is watching to the left, haven't we? In that half of the pitch where Arsenal have just been controlling the game.
And in the build-up to this match last week, certainly over the course of the last couple of days when all of the talking has been going on, you know, I've quite often said that PSG here this season have been almost irresistible. But Arsenal are hanging their hats on that word, almost. Here's Martinelli. Martinelli taking on Hakimi, but that's a win for the Moroccan right-back. Strong challenge, out of play for a throw, but they're being tested in all defensive departments, PSG, and it's another long throw. This is number 4.
I think that is the point, John. They're being tested. So Arsenal have come here and they're asking question after question in a different way. It's a very different start from them than it was in the first leg at home. It really is a confident, aggressive start. I mean, this must be what, the 5th throw-in.
Here we go. It's another long one from Thomas Partey with a throw flicked on, but cleared away by Kvaratskhelia. Packed penalty area, and the flick, unfortunately for Arsenal, right at the feet of the Georgian. But Arsenal take up possession again as they play from right to left as we look here in the first half. So it is all heads left as Odegaard gives it away. And then PSG give it away. And Luis Enrique suddenly all in black tonight, apart from his trainers, his white trainers. He becomes so animated there. Luis Enrique, his Paris Saint-Germain team, who lost in the semi-finals last season, remember, as a turn in centre field, and actually there's been a collision there, but Arsenal continue the attack. Saka tries to take it on. He's claiming the final touch was off the defender, Pacho, but the assistant on the far side says no, free kick. And was it Declan Rice who collided in centre field?
I think it was Declan Rice. He chipped the ball out wide, or it might have been Marino actually. I think Rice was arriving in the box and Marino had dropped deep to have the ball. But that's working out really nicely for Arsenal, because sometimes Rice will go beyond him and Marino drops into that familiar midfield role. It's a really nice interchange for that. And I think the reaction of Luis Enrique in that technical area, I mean, he's prowling that and coming out of the area very animated. Just a little indicator so early on to be like that. He's concerned about this start of his team here.
Yes, you can tell that from the body language. It's his birthday tomorrow. They went out of the Champions League on this day last year. So they went out of the Champions League in the semi-final on the eve of his birthday last year. 55 tomorrow. He was asked yesterday when I went out to the PSG campus, as they call it, their training ground, which is out on the edge of the city, out to the west, near Poissy. Very impressive it is, as it's given away by Nuno Mendes. Now Martinelli finds Marino, then to his right to Odegaard. Odegaard trying to find a position, no, but pass along the edge of the penalty area, wrong decision, gave it away, couldn't find a teammate. And now it's PSG who break away with the teenager Doué, who's carried the ball already 30 yards, but Arsenal are quickly back in position and they force him to play it back to little Vitinha with his hair bobbing. And the momentum of the breakaway has slowed. Although here is Barcola on the right-hand side. Bradley Barcola, who has played in every match this season for PSG. This is his 54th appearance of the season, whether as a starter or as a very effective substitute. 19 goals for him now this season. He scored the PSG goal against Strasbourg on Saturday.
I mean, we're 16 minutes into the game, it's the first time I think where I felt like PSG have just had control of the ball, or certainly any possession in the Arsenal half. I mean, that's how well Arsenal have started this game.
But the frustration for them will be that they weren't able to get the ball into the net, and now Kvaratskhelia to Doué, back to Kvaratskhelia on the left hand side, right foot shot, oh, it hits the post, bounces down, and Lewis Skelly was able to get something on that because Barcola was there, but Lewis Skelly was just able to see it back to Raya. Width of a post from PSG going in front.
It's just a horrible sight for a defender when Kvaratskhelia is coming inside on his right foot. He can go either way, but when he comes inside there, he's devastating. He gets the angle. What a shot off the post. And that would have been cruel for Arsenal had that gone in the back of the net.
I have to say, I thought it was in.
Yeah, I did.
Given the body language of Kvaratskhelia, the dive of Raya to his left, and also the reaction of the supporters.
He's nearly unstoppable when he's in that zone. I mean, the flow and the sway of his upper body, when he's doing those step overs and dropping his shoulder and creating that half a yard to get the shot off, and then the shot is generally perfectly placed.
Ball played forward, but Doué won't reach that, and it bounces away through for a goal kick, bounces into the ever-changing electronic advertising hoardings. I think all of the smoke has just about cleared now from all of the flares.
When you
look
at the lights, you can still see
there is still a little bit of it hanging there
in front of the lights.
All manner of flags being waved in the ultras end to our left. The PSG 0, Arsenal 0, 1-0 to the French champions as Arsenal come forward again. Timber moves in field, and a yellow card is being shown.
It's Mendes, isn't it?
Is it Nuno Mendes?
I think it is.
Who's protesting to the referee. So that's interesting.
That's a positive thing for Arsenal.
Yeah. Now Saka is going to be up against Nuno Mendes on an early yellow card. 18 minutes play.
Yeah, he went to ground to try and win the ball, didn't win the ball, and just caught his studs. It was a little bit of a reckless tackle, and the referee has come over and punished it early with a yellow card. I mean, he's not best happy about it. He just catches the foot of Timber as he's driving past him. It's not a horrendous tackle, but I can understand why the yellow cards come out.
Yes,
and now they've got to get him 1v1 with Saka more often.
So immediately, free kick taken, and it's given by Rice to Saka. Then back to Rice though, and it comes out to Martinelli, chests it down, but shoots into the crowded edge of the penalty area, and then excellent footwork from Vitinha, dragged the ball back, curled the pass forward, but well defended, as Matt Upson says, by Miles Lewis Skelly against Hakimi. And the margins for error were very fine for Lewis Skelly there as Timber bounces into a challenge. Now he has Saka again on the far side. Does well, comes in field. I thought he might have been caught by João Neves, but referee Zvaya's not interested in that. PSG have got it back on the edge of their own penalty area, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, he's taken quite a hard line with the game, the referee. There's a couple of things that you might have considered a foul, and he's just waved play on. But that little piece of defending from Lewis Skelly there, John, I can't tell you how difficult that was. The ball's bouncing over your head, you're running back towards your own goal, you're around the halfway line, you've got a player with the pace of Barcola bearing down on you, and he uses his body in such a mature fashion, this young player. He just gets his hips and his back and his backside around to shield the ball, and then swivels out with it. It was a lovely piece of defending.
And there's another excellent tackle by Timber on Kvaratskhelia. The feel at the moment is good for Arsenal. There's some impressive duels being won by Arsenal players in many areas of the field. And this belief that they talked about yesterday, well, they are producing so far, but still no goal. 20 minutes played. Arsenal going back to Partey on the halfway line. Here's Lewis Skelly in a central position, just drags it back and plays it back to the halfway line. Odegaard out to the right, and then they will go back to the halfway line again. So 0-0 this night that is a giant fork in the road to Munich. Odegaard coming in from the right, thought about shooting but didn't in the end. Thought he might have let one go from the edge of the area. Instead, it's Martinelli taking on Hakimi, who gets his foot in. The ball rolls away behind for a corner.
Is that the point about Martin Odegaard there, John? Just did so well, drove with the ball, went past two players, got the momentum, then has that step inside the pitch a little bit more. He's got a lovely angle to just let that left foot go. and he chooses to offload it. That to me is, get that shot off. He's more than capable of scoring at that point.
Corner then from the left for Arsenal. This is corner number 3. Donnarumma just waits on his line, orange-backed gloves as his arms dangle by his sides. Then Arsenal players run in all directions. Here's the delivery, a little glance out to the edge of the area. PSG head on that. Odegaard couldn't get the shot in. Lewis Skelly heads it forward to the edge of the box. Saka tried to lay it off, bounces back to Saka, who works the pass forward. That's a nice touch from Marino. Now the ball in from the right-hand side from Timber, but it's too close to Donnarumma, who's able just to allow the ball to bounce up into his midriff.
Yeah, the snap into the tackle's good from Arsenal. The loose ball, anything that's dropping in the midfield or is a bit of a bouncing ball where two players are battling, I have to say at the moment they're coming out on more of those duels on top. And that's the problem for PSG. They're just not getting hold of the ball because Arsenal are just turning it over like they have done just now.
Given away again. Hakimi under pressure from Martinelli. Arsenal players working tremendously hard, and it comes back into the centre circle. Oh, and that's a little short to Kivior. The pass from Saliba. Now Barcolow's away, and then Doué, edge of the area. Doué shoots weakly, and Raya was able to go down to his right and save that. Really, a routine save. It opened up for PSG though, but they couldn't take advantage.
Well, Julien Laurent said the words before the game. Saliba can't have a mistake like he did against Madrid, like he did in the Premier League recently as well. And that was very much of that ilk. What a dangerous ball to play. It gets cut out, and really Arsenal should have been punished. It was a soft finish in the end from Doué. He should do better, but Saliba very lucky to be let off the hook there.
Yes, the Crystal Palace match, wasn't it?
It was Palace, yeah.
And Mateta scored so well in the 2-2 draw. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal, who've won their last 4 away matches in the Champions League. They've never won 5 in a row away from home in the Champions League.
Yeah, well, just hopefully that's his mistake with the ball out of the way there, John.
Declan Rice in possession. He had an early chance as well with a header, didn't he? Which was Arsenal's first opportunity. Yeah. Saliba then playing the ball forward to Marino. No Trossard in the team tonight. Forward to Lewis Skelly. Now on the left-hand side, from Timber actually, the pass out to Martinelli. Lewis Skelly on the overlap to his left, but he comes back in field with the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard goes right, then back out to the left again. Lewis Skelly, left-footed cross, that's very high. I think he's overhit it. No, it's still in play, but it's over the top of Saka. And then Nuno Mendes goes in on the challenge. Goes sprawling down. Did he win the free kick, or is it a throw-in? Yes, I think it's a free kick to PSG.
It is a free kick, but just how audacious that is from Mendes to actually run round Saka to try and win that ball is just a sign of the confidence that this PSG left-back has in himself, physically and with his pace, to dominate anyone. And I have to say, on the whole, I don't see him get beaten, John. I think he's the best in the world at the moment in that left-back position.
So 0-0 it is. Arsenal, who as we mentioned last week, have not scored now in their last 6 semi-final matches. PSG with it at the back, but that's given away by Marquinhos. More drones, and Lewis Skelly's able to take it on towards the edge of the penalty area, but then blue, red and white shirts converge on him. It's brought away by Fabian Ruiz, and Vitinha has to hold off Odegaard, but he's got support and help from Saka, and Saka takes it on, but then going centrally, he ran into Vitinha. Fabian Ruiz passes it to Hakimi. Arsenal now need to get their defensive heads on again. Doué back to Hakimi, but PSG go back into their own half.
There's just a breakaway goal feeling around this match at the moment. Arsenal, it's almost too good to be true, John, in terms of how they're managing the game, and you just feel that Paris are going to have a breakaway situation just like the one they had with the mistake from Saliba. That is the risk that Arsenal are running here. They're almost being too dominant with the ball, and you've got so many players committed forward that when it breaks down on the edge of the Paris box, they can be in big trouble because they've got such good quality and pace in the front three.
There's Arsenal playing it out from the back. Raya passing it to Declan Rice, who had Kvaratskhelia all over him. It's a heavy touch from Rice from Raya's ball out, and Rice has fouled Kvaratskhelia, and it's a yellow card for the Arsenal midfielder.
I'm not too keen on the pass out in that area.
Well, that's gone wrong for Arsenal several times recently as well.
It's for me that's to manage the game a bit. I mean, Rice, a pass into him is on, but you've got to bear in mind, even if he has a perfect touch there, John, what's he going to do with the ball? He's running back towards the corner of his own 18-yard box. He's got a group of players really in a high press after him. I don't think he can really wriggle out that with the best touch ever. He didn't have a good touch, which is why he made the foul, but it's not a pass for me that David Raya should consider at that moment.
So it's a yellow card apiece now. Declan Rice for Arsenal and Mendes for PSG, but this is a free kick. Good position. Vitinha is over the ball, and Arsenal holding a line probably a couple of yards inside their half. Kvaratskhelia comes across with his hand up to his mouth and whispers something to Vitinha. Right-footed free kick towards the back post. That's headed out by Partey to the edge of the area. Fabian Ruiz! Oh, he scored! Fabian Ruiz makes it 1-0 on the night to Paris Saint-Germain. And for all of Arsenal's pressure, for all of their chances, it's the French champions who take the lead. He drove it powerfully through a crowd of players past the dive of Raya. It's 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain on the night. They've doubled their lead in the tie. 2-0 on aggregate.
Oh, what a hit from Fabian Ruiz. You can't take anything away from the quality of this strike. But it's another set play that Arsenal don't defend well enough. OK, Thomas Partey wins the first header, but he heads the ball back right into that edge of the box danger area where there's PSG players just lurking. Martinelli then just gets sucked in. He's running across the box where he's just got to put the brakes on, not try and win the ball, but just stop Fabian Ruiz from getting any kind of control on the ball. But he runs way past him. The touch to his left foot off his chest is brilliant. The ball is bouncing, and the strike, I mean, he really swings that left foot at the ball, but he gets a perfect connection, and it just drills past Raya. He's got no chance really of reacting. It's a brilliant finish, but you feel it's a goal that Arsenal should defend better.
Yeah, they'll be kicking themselves.
They will.
The way that the ball out from Raya, the conceding of the free kick, that defensive header from Partey.
That's the difference. Those decisions, that game management experience at this level, they're the difference. Bringing that situation on themselves didn't need to happen.
Quite the contrast, the way that PSG have soaked up the pressure, and some pressure from Arsenal as well, but Arsenal couldn't find a way through. Donnarumma making the saves, and now the explosions of flares and the smoke pours down out of the stand behind the goal to our left. Odegaard crossing for Arsenal to the back post. That's headed down but cleared away by Marquinhos on the edge of the area. Back to Saka on the right hand side. So Arsenal now 2-0 down in the tie. This match tonight, they've got to win tonight, and they're losing. 1-0 at home, 1-0 away. That's given away by Lewis Skelly. Kvaratskhelia takes it on, passes it to Barcola. Barcola beats Lewis Skelly and shoots, and saved by Raya. As Rice came in with a challenge, Barcola couldn't finish, and if he had finished, that might have been Arsenal finished.
If I'm honest, the game is going in a style that's just really suiting PSG. Arsenal have started very well. They had so much of the ball, but when there's a mistake or a slightly short pass, wow, their counter-attack is swift, it's decisive, it's so sharp, and really they should have had 2 goals on the break already, and it's only Declan Rice that manages to get back to stop the shot.
Here's the corner. Doué pulls it to the edge of the area. Hakimi's right underneath that, though, as Saka challenged him and hoisted the shot high over the top. It actually landed on this blue carpet that is behind the goal and all around the pitch. This PSG blue, massive badge, Paris Saint-Germain. It landed right in the middle of the R of Paris. So 1-0 to PSG. Fabian Ruiz, the goal scorer, the Spanish international, part of the team that won the Euros last year, an important part of that team. That's his first goal in the Champions League this season for Paris Saint-Germain, and what an important one it was. PSG's eyes now very much closing in on Munich and the final against Inter at the end of the month. Saturday the 31st it is, on the evening of, and Arsenal, the task has just got a great deal harder. And yes, you know, they had chances. Kvaratskhelia with his shot against the post.
Yeah.
The chance as well that Doué had when he shot weakly at Raya. But the opening goal, the crucial opening goal, has gone to Luis Enrique's team.
The scary thing is, John, they've had all those chances and they barely had the ball. And that's what makes them an incredible team, because yes, they can pop it around and build, but they're absolutely lethal in situations like this when you've got to come out, you've got to try and press and force the issue, like Arsenal have to, being a goal down, 2 goals down now. But they become even more dangerous in this situation.
They do. As Kvaratskhelia, and the mood has changed as well. Inside the stadium here, we're sitting high up, just to the right of the halfway line, looking down on Luis Enrique. Mikel Arteta is out there as well. Various hand signals. Now he looks exasperated as well. Arsenal coming forward though. Timber with a cross. It's a deep one. Rice backs away. Rice heads it across. It's hooked goalwards by Marino, but it drops wide of the top right corner, with Donnarumma scampering across his 6-yard box. It's behind. It's a goal kick. And this noise now, listen to this, inside this stadium. The sound of a jubilant, a buoyant Paris Saint-Germain.
Arsenal have had all the ball, but PSG have had all the moments, and I include Donnarumma in that. 2 cracking early saves in this game when they're under real pressure, and then the attacking play that's followed after. You know, that's the difference in this game. Their players have really stepped up in those moments and produced something.
Goal kick from Donnarumma, forward from Rice, but that will just run away for PSG. Hakimi chasing it, and there is the feeling here inside the stadium, there is the feeling that PSG have weathered the storm. But Arsenal have got other ideas. Here's Rice. Rice receives it from Odegaard, stretching forward, passes it to Martinelli on the left hand side. Got a shove in the back there as a result of that, carried the ball out of play. He'd gone down, he might have won a free kick, but it's a goal kick to PSG. Let me just tell you as well that over the course of history in the Champions League, there have been only 2 cases of teams who have lost the first leg at home, yet still gone on to win that semi-final and get through to the final. And this is where I'm offering a crumb of hope here, because the most recent of them was Tottenham against Ajax back in 2019. They lost 1-0 at home against Ajax, if you remember, and then went 2-0 down on the night. So we're 3-0 down, and then Lucas Moura came and scored the hat-trick in the second half. So let's not give it up just yet.
No, but it took one of the craziest moments in European football to make that happen, didn't it? To turn that around, and that's what Arsenal need now.
Yep, 6 years ago tomorrow that was. So that means 6 years ago today was Liverpool's comeback against Barcelona the night before. PSG with the ball with Pacho in his left-back area, chips it forward and it drifts out of play. And after all of that smoke cleared, we're back to square one, aren't we? Still one red flare is burning away in the top tier. I'm sure they've got their plans already, these PSG supporters, and they will bring real life to Munich for that final, if that were to be the case. Arsenal in the PSG left-back area, but that breaks down. PSG have got it back, and Kvaratskhelia dancing forward with the ball. He's fouled, and that's a free kick to the home side, halfway inside their own half. So 10 minutes to go to half-time, Matt. PSG 1, Arsenal 0, 2-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, difficult situation for Arsenal now, and they've just got to be careful. The body language doesn't change. The belief is still there. There's 2 goals that they need to find now in this incredibly difficult situation against a team that is so hot on the break. They really are. Any slipped pass or misread or weight of pass is wrong, they're on it, and they've got runners going forward, so they've got to be aware of that, Arsenal. They just want to have a good 10 minutes into half-time and then regroup.
Arsenal win the ball back over there on the far side. Saka now direct, running towards the edge of the penalty area. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. It's deflected. Only half-headed away by Pacho after Rice put the ball in. Rice chases him over there out into the left-back area, but Pacho gets there first and blasts it out of play for a throw into Arsenal near the halfway line. There is 5 Live Champions League final score tonight, by the way. You can listen to us, to the 5 Live commentary, alongside the final score graphics. That is on the BBC Sport website and app. It's on the red button, or you can look on the iPlayer as well. Just click on 5 Live final score. And the highlights are on BBC One, Champions League match of the day later, after the news. And if you haven't seen them yet, you really want to watch the highlights of last night, which was extraordinary. And they'll be available on the iPlayer as well from, I think, 10 o'clock onwards. But match of the day on BBC One tonight. So at the moment, you'll be watching Fabian Ruiz's goal. 1 goal in the first leg for PSG. So far, 1 in the second for the French champions. But Marino heading it to Rice. Rice's shot, that's blocked. Comes out to Odegaard. Odegaard then finds Martinelli. Martinelli, who made a good start against Hakimi, slips the ball past him, but there was defensive cover there from João Neves. Martinelli, though, does well, gets the ball in, then the shot on the edge of the area from Timber. That too blocked by Paris Saint-Germain on the edge of their own penalty area, and then the ball is lifted forward by Saliba, bounces on the left corner of the penalty area. A high foot from Martinelli, but it's not given us a free kick because Hakimi's brought the ball away and he's still going, so Arsenal have to get back, and then just dinks it past Lewis Skelly. That was cool. Doué then with the pass, but he's overhit that, and Arsenal will have to clear through Saliba, which they do, but that's given away. Headed forward, João Neves is onto this, moving infield, 25 yards out. He's got Kvaratskhelia. I'd use him if I was him. Kvaratskhelia then into the area, but Saliba comes across and is just able to, with his right foot, clear it away desperately.
Well, when he gets those jinky feet moving at players, it's very difficult to stop. Kvaratskhelia, nearly impossible, I'd say. Just poked it through there, trying to get the other side. But the big surprise with him, and I've seen it a lot tonight, he's made about 2 or 3 really important blocks in his own 18-yard box. He really does give protection to Nuno Mendes in the left-back position. He works incredibly hard defensively.
João Neves has been dispossessed by Thomas Partey, but then the pass is overhit and PSG have got it back in their own half. At half-time, we will be crossing to Rome again. Russell Fuller is there at the tennis in Rome. We're not far away from Roland Garros here, are we? It's just a stone's throw away. Court Philippe Chatrier, which I've seen in the flesh, as it were, for the first time since it was rebuilt. Very impressive it is, as the ball is taken down by Doué. So we will be hearing from Jack Draper at half-time with Russell. I heard Russell say it was a little bit chilly in Rome. It's a lovely temperature here tonight. Not warm at all, really.
No, you couldn't get better conditions for a football game. I mean, there's barely any breeze. It's a nice, cool evening, slick pitch in a stadium like this. I mean, no better place to be playing or watching football at the moment.
Not as cool as Bordeaux, though, according to Paul Robinson.
Bordeaux sounded a bit nippy, didn't it?
It did, Bordeaux. So Alistair Bruce-Ball will be getting there as well if he isn't there already. So that's what you'll be hearing on 5 Live tomorrow night, and that should be a tremendous listen to hear the sounds of Norway as Tottenham go there and try to reach the Europa League final, whereas the Manchester United match will be live from Old Trafford on Sports Extra. So a great choice of listening for you tomorrow night, and obviously we'll be with Chelsea as well to see if they can claim their place, which they should in the conference final. But it's PSG going through to the Champions League final with this scoreline, 1-0. Very enjoyable first half. Arsenal have been very, very good, but PSG, they couldn't find a way through, and Fabian Ruiz scored that goal just short of the half hour. Here is Vitinha, the little former Wolves midfielder, who's certainly come on leaps and bounds here at the Parc des Princes. That's given away by Hakimi, but it's won back by João Neves. He's into the area now. Doué, lots of Arsenal players back, a back heel, and João Neves' touch takes it away from PSG, and it's cleared away by Timber to the halfway line. And then forward from Pato and out of play for an Arsenal throw.
I'll tell you, how quickly is João Neves into the tackle, John. Wow. He is snapping about in that midfield. Any little loose ball, if you don't protect that ball with your body well enough, he, with his real low centre of gravity and quick feet and that kind of stocky, quite strong build, but he's very light on his feet. He just gets after the ball, and he can get low in and around your ankles, around your hips, and he just gets a toe on the ball and he scurries after it. He's such a good midfield player out of possession.
Yes, the Portuguese, sturdy little figure, isn't he? 20 years old. They paid 60 million euros, at least 60 million euros for him from Benfica, Paris Saint-Germain. But they are defending right now. Arsenal on the attack as the first half moves into the last 5 minutes. Cross from the right-hand side. That's headed down and away by Pacho and then cleared further away towards the halfway line. Kiwior, the Polish international central defender. His ball to the edge of the box. That's just cleared up in the air by Nuno Mendes. Forward from Rice, but PSG have got that one away as well. Hakimi lost his footing. Plays it infield though to João Neves, and PSG have got it safely back near the edge of their own penalty area. They've got more of a measure of control now, PSG.
Yeah, and the atmosphere has changed on the ground, isn't it? There's a calmness and a relaxed atmosphere now. It was a little bit edgy in that first 15 minutes.
So Arsenal with the ball on the right. In comes the challenge from Doué this time. Doué back there almost in his own left back position. That's been a feature, hasn't it? Barcola, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, as you've said, really helping out the back line. But here's Saka now. Lovely ball into the middle. Marino dives for it but couldn't get any meaningful touch on that at the near post edge of the 6-yard box, and it was through him in a flash and beyond the kick.
They need something, Arsenal. They need something like this to go in. A toe from Marino into the far post, just anything to get them back in this game, because at the moment they're creating good situations without that real final product.
Must win match tonight for Arsenal, otherwise they're out. These are the two clubs that have played the most matches in this competition without actually going on to win it, and only one French club has ever been European champions, winners of either the European Cup or the Champions League, and that's their big rivals Marseille, Chris Waddle's old team, when they won it back in 1993. And as our friend in the bistro Akil told us last night, Marseille won it in Munich, and this year's final is also in that great Bavarian city. Kvaratskhelia turns on the halfway line. He was challenged by Timber, wanted a free kick for that. Referee Zvaya's not interested.
He's got good football knowledge, our friend Akil, hasn't he?
It's incredible football knowledge.
Unbelievable what he knew about English football and European football.
Yeah. Yes, and he was a little edgy about this, but I think confident. He's already made his plans for Munich. As Raya, long pass downfield from him. Saka on the chase. Nuno Mendes is with him. They're into the penalty area now on the right-hand side. Gets the ball across, cleared away by Marquinhos though. There were two men in there, Rice and Martinelli, but Marquinhos was able to find himself in the right place. Then Hakimi with a long pass. Barcola taking on Lewis Skelly down the right wing. He's able to get the ball down, plays it across. Doué on the edge of the area, the teenager beats Kiwior. Right foot shot into the body of Lewis Skelly, who's gone down. Might have hit him in the face actually, and therefore the referee stopped play, much to the frustration of the PSG supporters. So Lewis Skelly stays down, and at that moment I noticed Mikel Arteta and Luis Enrique both almost in unison there turned around, walked back, picked up a water bottle and returned to their coaches on the bench.
Yeah, breaking play where they can just take their eyes off this game. I mean, it is intense. There's little jewels and little moments on the pitch all the time, and this one, I mean, it's a fair old hit from Doué, and it does catch Lewis Skelly. He gets side on and the ball strikes him right just underneath the ribs. Really took the wind out of his sails.
Yeah, so it's going to be a drop ball. The referee just goes across to Doué to explain what he's going to do.
I mean, I know it's not a head injury, but I think the referee's right to, probably stop the game. A lot of people would argue and say should have played on, but
so he's dropped the ball and now he's asked to get it back. Not sure what happened there. Anyway, he's dropped the ball and Doué unchallenged, so it's an uncontested drop ball really. And Doué plays it back to Hakimi. Half-time approaching. We're on the last minute of the first 45. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Arsenal 0. 2 minutes. Oh, here we are.
2 minutes.
There we are. You'll have heard that. 2 minutes. Ball's out of play for a throw to PSG over there on the far side, halfway inside their own half. I mentioned that we are a stone's throw away from Roland Garros, stone's throw away from the Seine as well, not far from the Bois de Boulogne. I asked Julian Laurent before the match, what is that in French? How would you say a stone's throw? And it is à quelques un câbleur. a stone's throw.
I thought that was going to come out differently then.
Did you?
For a moment.
Raya is able to get the ball downfield, and Rice strides on, gives it to Odegaard. Now here's Saka in added time. Saka's ball across, but Hakimi is able to position himself perfectly. Martinelli behind him, and left-footed, he clears it out of play on the far side. And Martinelli, frustration there, just followed on through and kicked the post.
Well, he's got to get across the face of him. You know, Arsenal are going to run out of opportunities to make these situations count. I mean, it's a good position from Hakimi. He tucks right in where he should be, but Martinelli has to make that happen.
Back to the long throws from Arsenal. Partey comes off the head of Coutinho, but up in the air it went, and then Donnarumma arrives, throwing himself headlong to catch the ball. Like a green flash he was, and he's got it safely in his hands. And it's been the story of the first half, really. Arsenal have been good, but
not quite good enough. Not quite good enough to just make those chances count. And a little bit of that is PSG, i.e. Donnarumma, has really made 2 excellent saves. So that could have been very different in that first 10 minutes if he doesn't get down to make that save from Odegaard. You know, the pitch is completely different.
Kvaratskhelia has fouled Saliba, so that's a free kick to Arsenal near the right corner of the box. Well, coming here tonight, we knew that either Arsenal or PSG by the end of the evening would be appearing in a second Champions League final, and as the half-time whistle goes with this scoreline, it is going to be Paris Saint-Germain leading through that Fabian Ruiz goal, that well-struck goal from the edge of the area following the free kick. But Arsenal thinking of the chances that they've had. Mikel Arteta, Declan Rice yesterday, saying that they needed magical moments, and so close, particularly really the chance for Martinelli, Odegaard as well with that fiercely struck shot, but Donnarumma making the saves as he did at the Emirates.
Yeah, they've laid the foundation. It's had the substance to the performance has been excellent. They've asked a question. I think they've been aggressive. They've taken the game to PSG. They've unsettled them in the opening 15 minutes. But what he said in the press conference about the magical moments, they've been on the other side. They've produced those. The goalkeeper's produced a moment. Fabian Ruiz has produced an outstanding finish. So that's why they're behind. And that, I guess, is what this competition's all about. The quality of player that can do things like they've done, and Arsenal just haven't put the finishing touches to that.
Yeah, so half-time here. Suddenly, you know, it feels like the atmosphere that's been bubbling throughout the course of the first half has just lulled a little. And 1-0 at half-time. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Arsenal 0, 2-0 on aggregate. Yes, Arsenal have got it all to do. They've got to win this match tonight. And with the second half about to begin, they are losing 1-0. So 2-0 on aggregate. Just watching Luis Enrique down there with the goal scorer, Fabian Ruiz, giving him a hearty pat on the back as he ran out onto the field with some final instructions. No changes at the break. So PSG, Donnarumma in goal, the excellent Donnarumma. He's been cheered here. That's the cheer for Donnarumma from the fans behind the goal to our right, and he applauds back to them. 2 big saves from him in the first half. So Donnarumma, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Mendes are the back 4. Arsenal are just about to kick off here. Vitinha, João Neves and Fabian Ruiz. Then Bradley Barcola, Kavica, Kvaratskhelia and Desiree Doué. There's the whistle from Felix Zvaya, and Martin Odegaard plays the ball immediately all the way back to David Raya, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Kivior and Lewis Skelly. Then Partey, Odegaard and Rice in midfield. Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Mikel Merino playing as the central striker with Kai Havertz on the injured list. Jorginho is among the substitutes. Weren't necessarily expecting that. Calafiori as well. Trossard left out of the team tonight. And Matthew Upson sitting next to me. Arsenal and England central defender, played in the Champions League for Arsenal. Watching the Arsenal captain, Odegaard, who can't bring that ball down. And now Vitinha is able to take it away and pass it actually behind Barcola, out onto the right wing. Barcola gets the ball under control, though he's got Vitinha on the overlap, but he goes back to Hakimi. And then Hakimi back towards the halfway line. And these Paris Saint-Germain supporters, Matt, they're just going to be, this is an anxious 45 minutes, watching their clocks as the cross comes over from Hakimi all the way across the Arsenal area, and counting down the time to when they can say that they've done it and they're through to the Champions League final in Munich.
Yeah, I mean, such is the confidence and the work rate in this PSG team. I'm not sure if they are going to have a nervous 45 minutes, John. I mean, I think they're already a little bit in that celebratory mode, you'd feel, and the stadium's now starting to jump. They're all in unison. There's a chant going round, and I think they're just thoroughly enjoying this situation.
Foul on Marino, so it's a free kick to Arsenal. Might be interested to know, as John Cross from the Daily Mirror was telling me, you know the famous song 1-0 to the Arsenal?
Yeah.
John says it was actually invented here in this stadium when Arsenal played PSG in the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final back in 1994. It was 1-0 to Arsenal at half-time. They were playing the Pet Shop Boys, Goal West, and the Arsenal fans, and there'd been a series of 1-0 wins during that season in Europe, and at the time George Graham's Arsenal, and it was taken on from there. But tonight, unfortunately for Arsenal, it's 1-0 to the PSG. Free kick is taken long after that foul on Marino, but Martinelli is dispossessed, and Paris Saint-Germain in the mainly blue kit with the red and blue stripe down the middle burst away forward. Barcola, but Saliba comes across forward towards Rice, then back to Odegaard just inside his own half, and then all the way back to Kivior in the middle of Arsenal territory. They're playing from left to right in the second half. Kivior passing it forward again to Lewis Skelly, and the teenager, as he loves to do, uses his body to hold off João Neves, and Arsenal with Partey a pass forward, which is taken down by Timber, who's in a well-advanced position, down the line to Saka, but there's Kvaratskhelia tackling back on Saka, and it's the Georgian for Paris Saint-Germain who's come out with the ball against the England international.
Oh, that's brilliant. That really is brilliant. I mean, I really noticed it in that first half, how hard he was working, and not just the hard work. When he gets there, he then engages, and he's actually a good tackler. He gets in and around the feet of Saka, who hasn't really been able to build any momentum on Arsenal's right-hand side and create as much as what you'd like from him. But I think a lot of it is down to the left-back he's playing against is outstanding, and Kvaratskhelia is just as good when he gets in those defensive positions.
Yes, we saw a little group of Georgians, didn't we, outside the Parc des Princes just before we came into the stadium. Here, presumably, very proud of the star man, 4 times Georgian Footballer of the Year. I suspect he might win it a few more times as well.
I think he's got a chance.
Here's Saka through the middle, and he's leaned into by Nuno Mendes. That's no free kick. Saka's stayed down, clutching his right leg. PSG in possession, but they don't go gung-ho, they don't need to, and actually Hakimi says, I'm going to put this out of play, so Saka can be looked at.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what the issue was there. I mean, the referee hasn't bought any of these situations. I mean, he's let the game flow quite nicely, I think. I mean, there's been a little bit of contact and maybe a few fouls that could have been given, but I just looked at the replay. I think Saka just got his leg caught between Mendes' legs, and that's maybe why he's just got that knock.
Yeah, he's okay. They're not going to call the physio on, so he's back on his feet. Bukayo Saka. See, Alexander Cheferin, the UEFA president, is here. Just glanced at the little screen here. I think he's sitting next to the PSG president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi. It's 2011 that Qatar first bought into Paris Saint-Germain, and some of the managers that they've had, some of the coaches, and you know, first and foremost, the target is to win the Champions League. They win the French League almost every year, 4 in a row now, 11 in the last 13 years. The Champions League is the big target, and here João Neves weighing the ball back for PSG. Then the challenge comes in, good one as well by Partey, then puts the tackle in on Doué. Now that's a sturdy challenge by Timber. It's given us a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain, and Timber reacts, going down onto his knees, flops down onto the pitch with his hands in a praying type. Yeah, looked like a foul to me.
He threw himself down like a tantruming 3-year-old, if I can spit it out. He really did go flat on his front, onto his knees. He wins a good chunk of the ball, which is why his reaction was so extreme. But I must say,
he slid through.
Yeah, he went straight through, and I think the referee, just for the follow, the ball kind of glanced off him, but the main bulk and chunk of the contact was with the player, which is why he blew for the foul.
This is a free kick, not too far away from the position where PSG scored their goal in the first half. Vitinha's waiting to take this. Mikel Arteta looks anxious. Vitinha swings it in, but that's nothing like the delivery in the first half. Curls it into the gloves of Raya, who's able to catch it quite comfortably. 5 Live BBC Sounds. Listen as well tomorrow night to hear what it sounds like in Bodo. Bodo Glimt, the team with the slash in their title, playing Tottenham in the second leg of their Europa League semi-final. So live from Bodo tomorrow night. We're in Paris tonight. Sports Extra tomorrow night for the commentary on Manchester United. Here, Arsenal in possession. VE Day as well tomorrow, and you'll hear coverage of that all day on 5 Live as the ball bounces away off Marino and out of play near the halfway line.
Sounds right up your street, a bit of Bodo. I can see you strolling around there and enjoying the culture.
I am very, very jealous of them. I would love to have been able to make that trip.
Yeah.
Raya, long pass from him downfield. Saka can't keep it in, and it's out of play for a throw-in to PSG. However, I think we'll cope here in the fashionable Boulogne-Billancourt area of Paris, where cashmere is always acceptable. Just looking down the most well-heeled sit down in front of us, there's some wonderfully coiffured hair in the 5 or 6 rows that I'm looking down on.
It's a lovely
French hairdressers, of course.
Yeah, it's a lovely part of Paris, actually, isn't it? I mean, like I say, it's a real sporting kind of corner, isn't it? With Longchamp as well, the racing track and all the other sporting.
Partey has caught in possession on the halfway line, and Arsenal have got men back, and PSG. So that's another part of this second half. You know, this is so big for Paris Saint-Germain, and this is mainly a young team, and they talk about it all of the time. You know, whether the pressures will come into it, but there's no pressure here. Nuno Mendes pouring forward from left back, playing it across. Doué turns and shoots goal. It's opened his body, very Lamine Yamal-like actually, on the other side of the penalty area. Quick play, opened his body, but steered the shot well wide actually.
Well, this PSG left side, it's the best in world football. It really is. I mean, the quality and the speed they have between them, Mendes and Kvaratskhelia, is just blistering, and that with the intelligence, the work ethic, the quality, it literally has everything, this left hand side. And it's been such a challenging tie for Bukayo Saka to get in the game, understandably, because you're up against 2 players that are very, very difficult to get on top of.
Best left flank in world football.
I think so at the moment. I don't think there's a better one. Not that I've seen this season.
When Luis Enrique won the Champions League, when he was coach of Barcelona, he had Suarez and Messi and Neymar. But here's Barcola carrying the ball into the area. Still Barcola puts his foot on the ball. Little pass chipped across the goal by Vitinha, and that's easily chested back by Timber to goalkeeper Raya. Almost 10 minutes played in the second half, and I must say now it does feel as though that first 20-25 minutes of this match, before Ruiz gave PSG the lead, and they could have scored before then as well, but I think particularly the first 20 minutes, if it doesn't go for Arsenal tonight, which it's not doing with this scoreline, that's where they've lost it.
When you play as well as what they did and you get nothing for it, it hurts you. It takes a chunk out of you, you feel, and then you're dealing with the quality on the counter and the, you know, hitting the post and then the goal, and all of a sudden it's like a sinking feeling. So Arsenal have got to dig in deep here. They're still in this match. They have to work hard. If they can just get anything, it might just make that last piece of this game a little bit difficult for PSG.
Raya, long free kick forward to the edge of the area. Marino jumps for it, but it bounces through and is cleared away to the halfway line, where Barcola is in a bit of a tangle there with Lewis Skelly, who's fouled him, says referee Zvaya, and that's a yellow card for the Arsenal teenager, Lewis Skelly.
Yeah, nothing worse than when you're waiting for the ball to come down and you've got a player that's got momentum coming onto it, and he's just in a difficult position there, Lewis Skelly. He loves to just stick his body between the man and the ball. That's his go-to all the time, and Barcola read it, got round him, and then he had to pull him down.
1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain, 2-0 on aggregate. Nuno Mendes goes down, no free kick. Kvaratskhelia is in possession of the ball with his wispy beard and his white strapping on his wrist. Turns, goes down. It's taken on though by Vitinha. Excellent footwork from Vitinha. Still going Vitinha, and it's clipped across via a deflection, but caught by Raya stretching. What a piece of play that was by the Portuguese number 17.
Oh, some twinkle toes, that one. A lovely lift at the start to lift the ball down the line over the outstretched leg of Timber, and then the footwork going into the box was really, really magical.
Yes, he didn't have the best of times by any means at Wolves when he was there. You know, he didn't play enough. He came in and spoke to us at the Emirates last week, and he was talking about how, looking back, that was very important and good for him. But I think the meaning there was, I didn't really enjoy it very much. Here's Odegaard, forward to Saka. Now Arsenal could be interested. Saka with a shot from the angle, but Nuno Mendes puts a foot out and blocks it behind, wide of the near post. Corner Arsenal though.
It's almost the best outcome Arsenal could have, you know. Mendes 1v1, you're not going to get too much change out of him, but if Saka can keep winning these set plays, if Arsenal can keep putting the ball in the box as many times as they can, probability says something's going to drop at some point.
Corner then. One of Arsenal's big strengths over the course of the last couple of seasons. No Gabriel at the moment though, one of the main dangers. However, there are still dangers there. Little steps from Saka. In comes the corner, and it's pushed up and over the top by Donnarumma. It was dropping in, but Donnarumma, 6'5", was able to reach up and just push it over the top of the bar. Second corner.
Yeah, comfortable, wasn't it? I mean, he gets too much curl on the ball there, Saka. He wants to set that a little bit further out near the 6-yard box line.
Saka again then. Second right-sided corner in a row. In it goes on Donnarumma. Came off an Arsenal head, even though the goalkeeper went for it. Mikel Merino's claiming that the final touch was off a PSG body, but referee Zweier, well positioned, says goal kick.
Yeah, decent ball in and good flick. Just everyone had gone into the middle of the box and nobody drifted out. Somebody just pulled onto the back post area. There was a simple header in an empty net, but there was completely empty of any player.
Yeah, I think the final touch was off Timber. You can see that now. So goal kick, referee got it right. Goal kick to Paris Saint-Germain. Just over half an hour to play. PSG half an hour from going to Munich. Arsenal half an hour from going out. It would be a fourth defeat out of 4 for Mikel Arteta in 2-legged semi-finals as the Arsenal manager. How's your look? Saka is bundled over.
Has to be a foul.
Yeah, he's fallen off the pitch, but it's a free kick to Arsenal on the right-hand side. Odegaard runs off the pitch. Arsenal just need to, however they do it, just find a way through, find a way past Donnarumma.
Yeah, that isn't a good decision from Pacho. That doesn't need to give that foul away. Really clumsy, smashes into the back of Saka right on the touchline. He's going nowhere. Now Martin Odegaard can place the ball, and this is a lovely angle for him, John, with his left foot, just to whip this one in.
The Arsenal captain, with his left foot, waits to deliver this. He has created 3 goals in the last 4 matches. Odegaard plays it in, Donnarumma comes, gets a good punch on that. Well out of the penalty area. Barcola just heads it back to Fabian Ruiz, the scorer of the only goal tonight, the man who scored the goal in the first leg. Ousmane Dembele only on the bench for PSG this evening, the 33-goal top scorer, but they've not needed him so far. There's Timber on the right wing, wins a throw in. Arsenal are building a little bit of pressure here. Timber wins the throw in. Just looking to see if Partey is going to come and take the long one, but he's not. Maybe just a little too far up the line.
I think he is.
Oh no, here he is. He is coming. Yeah,
they have to.
Well, and also they have caused problems with it.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, in open play, at the moment it's hard to see where the goals are going to come from with Arsenal. I mean, that has been a big problem of theirs this season, but they have a chance with these long throws.
Here it goes. We're right behind the line of it. The throw is headed away on the edge of the box. Saliba, though, is able to steer it back out to Partey. Partey beats the jumping Doué, then plays it back to the edge of the area. Timber back to Partey. Partey, right-footed across the box, but right into the path of Pacho, who is able to clear away for Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal come again. Saliba's crossed this time, right away to the far side of the penalty area. Merino backing away. Turns. Oh, and he's got it all wrong. He's passed it behind Martinelli and all the way through for a goal kick. And you can hear what that's done to the PSG supporters who like us, were watching. Arsenal have a spell there, but it's gone.
And what was it like? It was really good foundations, good movement, technique, all the rest, but without that final piece at the end, and until they find that somewhere, PSG are going to feel relatively comfortable, because while they might have those moments where they're under pressure, I don't think they really feel massively threatened that Arsenal are going to score.
No. It feels now like it's not going to go Arsenal's way, but I've sat and watched enough surprise turnarounds in my life to not give this one up just yet. No. And it is incredible how it can change, and the mood of a match can change so quickly. But I'm not stacking my house on this happening tonight. Here is Hakimi playing the ball out to the far side. João Neves, that's a heavy touch from him, out of play for a throw. Miles Lewis-Skelly takes this, hurls it down the line. This is for Martinelli to chase, and across comes Marquinhos to put it out of play. Marquinhos was one of the goal scorers when PSG won their only previous victory in a Champions League semi-final, and if you remember, that was back in the COVID year in 2020 when it was a one-off semi-final against Leipzig. So PSG have never won a two-legged Champions League semi-final. That's what they're trying to do tonight. Last season they lost both legs 1-0. This season they're winning both legs 1-0. Long throw though for Partey, bounces out to the edge of the penalty area. Timber couldn't get there, then Doué is barged off the ball by Odegaard. I'm surprised that wasn't given as a free kick. Fabian Ruiz has been able to clear it away downfield. Saliba's got to be careful. Saliba might be in danger of losing out to Barcola, but in the end he's managed to draw the foul from Barcola. They don't like it in the stands of the Parc des Princes, but Arsenal now, already the urgency is there. Quick free kick, played forward. Rice gets it back. Rice's ball across, deflected right across, beyond the far posts. Saka dropped behind it. Saka then back to Timber. Timber gives it back to Saka. Saka now onto his left foot, curls it goalwards. Oh! What a save again from Donnarumma. I thought that was bound for the top corner. I thought that was beating the big man, but he threw out one of those arms, fingertips again, round the top corner.
Oh, what a save, and what a hit from Saka. We've been asking for an Arsenal player to produce something a bit special. That was it from Bukayo Saka. For the first time in the game, he gets himself a couple of yards away from Mendes. He whips it with his left foot, and what a fingertip save with the right hand from Donnarumma's going in the top corner.
Rice with the corner, deep to the back post. Partey tried to get there, defender was in the way, comes out to Saka, goes down, threw himself down. Kvaratskhelia tells him what he thinks of him. Meanwhile, PSG are off on the counter-attack. It's Hakimi who's taking the ball down the left wing, but they're not going gung-ho. Doué though says give it to me, and then he gives it back to Hakimi, and Hakimi shoots, and Raya's able to go down to his right. Took a little deflection, but Raya was able to field it down to his right.
Yeah, gave it the ball a nasty little bit of movement there, didn't it? You know, one of those ones that you can see squirm under the arms of goalkeepers. He did quite well there, David Raya, to get solid forearms behind that ball. It was a tricky save, but you know, PSG for that breakaway there, John, like you mentioned, they didn't really go for the throat, did they? You know, there's a feeling now that we're comfortable. You know, we've got 2 goals, we're in control. If we can break forward, then great, but if not, no problem, we'll just keep the ball and run the time down.
Pacho steps forward, stabs it away. William Pacho, the Ecuadorian central defender, he's good, isn't he? 23 years old. Arsenal again in possession on the left hand side. Saka, the latest to have been denied by Donnarumma. Saka must be thinking, what do I have to do to beat Donnarumma? Remember the Euros final? And here he is now. He's popped up on the left-hand side, Bukayo Saka, trying to come in field, but well defended. Excellent midfield play from João Neves, who got in there, won the ball against Saka. Then he's fouled by Merino.
The referee's just signalling to go to the screen,
suggesting that he is going to be called to the screen.
Yeah. What was that about?
And there is a potential penalty check. So this, I'm guessing, well, it would have to be for an Arsenal penalty because the ball's not been in the
surely not the
PSG penalty.
The Saka swan dive that we kind of just we brushed that off as if it was a.
Well, and the you know what this means? Usually, when the referee is called across by the VAR, who is Bastian Dankert,
it's a handball against Arsenal.
Oh, it was when Hakimi went for goal. It was when Hakimi shot for goal, and it did say deflected off Lewis-Skelly, and and a penalty has been awarded by Felix Zvaya.
Wow.
And Miles Lewis-Skelly was twisting his body, and I think he's a little unfortunate there for that to be given as a handball against him.
I would say a little unfortunate.
His hand is just... the arm is at right angles.
Yeah, but
I mean, he's twisted his body.
But in Europe, we're miles off being reasonable with these handball situations. The Premier League's gone so far in actually applying a little bit of rationale and common sense to the situation that the player's in. There's no thought for the situation that Lewis-Skelly's in. Is his arm away from his body? Yes, but he's trying to break, change direction and block a shot at the same time. Your arms are not going to be down your side like a penguin, so they're going to be free-flowing in that natural movement. He smashes the ball from 2 yards away from him. How on earth is he supposed to get his arm or hand out the way and to get penalised? Very similar to the game away at Inter that Arsenal had in the Champions League this year. A ridiculous handball.
Marino.
This is just another one, and it's needless. I mean, for VAR to call that back, to think that there's a clear and obvious error from the referee in that decision, I find ludicrous. I think it's a total misuse of what VAR is there for.
It's the kind of decision that is given in European competitions.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous. And if the referee gives it on field even, I would be upset with it. But for the VAR to bring it back and say there's a clear problem here, it's just ridiculous.
Well, Arsenal need David Raya here. Remember his penalty save against Atalanta in the league phase of the competition. A brilliant double save from Retegui. Well, he's going to face Vitinha, the little Portuguese midfielder. So it's a penalty as Arsenal have made a change. Trossard has come on and Calafiori. So Lewis-Skelly and Martinelli have been substituted. Meanwhile, here is the moment that could clinch it for Paris Saint-Germain. Vitinha stands right behind the ball on the edge of the area. Little steps forward, a crouching motion. He walks up to the ball and then Raya saves it down to his left. Pushes it away. Not the most firmly hit penalty you've ever seen. I think he was hoping that Raya was going to commit himself, but Raya keeps it out, and it's still 1-0 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate, and Arsenal are still just about alive.
Wow, that was a bizarre approach to the ball. It was like he was trying to creep up on it, John. Tiptoeing.
I almost felt like saying, if you go down to the woods today.
It had that feel. It was a really poor penalty. I mean, I don't quite know what that was, but then, like you say, there's no power. You've got no momentum coming into the ball because you're creeping up on it. And then no power, and David Raya holds his nerve really well, actually. It is in the corner, so he has to really get across to his left-hand side, but good save.
So Arsenal have changed their left flank, and now Dembele is on. Ousmane Dembele coming on for the last 20 minutes. Went off injured, the man who scored the goal in the first leg, the top scorer, 33 goals this season, 28 in his last 28 appearances. That's not bad. And it's a PSG corner after the Raya penalty save. And corner from the right-hand side. 1-0 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. PSG going through. Here is the corner, though, to the near post, headed away for Arsenal. And then nodded to the man who's just had his penalty save, Vitinha, who, with his right foot, brings Dembele into the game for the first time, who wins a throw-in off Timber. So Barcola making way for Dembele. So I think if that had gone in, I think you'd have heard that all around Paris, the cheer outside the ground, but instead David Raya has kept Arsenal in it. And as you said, Matt, you do feel for Arsenal and Lewis-Skelly being pulled up for that. But here's Calafiori, back from injury, not played in the last 10 matches. Calafiori into the penalty area but overruns it, and PSG are able to clear it away, and actually might be able to break away up the right hand side. So with Barcola being substituted, Doué was over there on the right-hand side. Hakimi's now bursting forward as well. Doué turns on the edge of the box. That was well defended, though, for Arsenal by Saliba, who passes it to Trossard, who's onto the field now. Trossard having started the last 4 matches, but on the substitutes bench tonight. Back to Partey. Time now very much beginning to run out for Arsenal. We're in the last 20 minutes. 71 minutes play. Arsenal with Bukayo Saka, who forced the best save of the second half from Donnarumma. He's in contention to be man of the match again. The PSG goalkeeper into the centre circle. It is with Kivior. Kivior he's given it away, passed it behind Odegaard, so Kvaratskhelia was able to pick up possession of the ball and now glides forward in that way that he does, the Georgian number 7, and then pulls it back to the edge of the box. Not cleared by Partey. Hakimi! Right foot! Bottom corner! The right back has clinched it surely for Paris Saint-Germain. That's finished the semi-final. Surely it has. And it's finished off Arsenal as well. Mikel Arteta stands with his arms crossed. 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. PSG are bound for Munich.
Well, this place has just erupted. They know they're home and dry, and Arsenal are out of this game. The body language, the dejected look on the players says it all. I mean, it was a tired piece of defending, and Arsenal have put so much into this game. They really have. They've run their socks off, and PSG now in a position where they can just exploit those little holes. And it's Hakimi with a lovely sweeping right-footed finish. It really is a well-taken goal. Kvaratskhelia gets the ball wide. Arsenal don't quite deal with it, but and then it's a bit tired. Kivior doesn't get out to the ball. Saliba's a little bit deep, and it just allows Hakimi the space and time 18 yards out to wrap his foot around it. But what he does, he whips it beautifully around Saliba, and it nestles right in the bottom of the far corner, just hits the inside, grazes the inside of the side netting, probably about 2 or 3 inches inside the post. Beautiful finish with his right foot.
And Luis Enrique with a 2-0 lead on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. Luis Enrique immediately says, right, let's be having one of those forwards off. Doué's off, and Lucas Hernandez, the French international, is coming on, the number 21. So he's playing on the left-hand side of the defence, which I guess means, 3 central defenders now for PSG? Yeah. Nuno Mendes playing as the left wing back.
Yeah, I think that probably looks the likely setup,
or indeed Nuno Mendes just playing further forward.
I think he's gone further forward in that position, and Hernandez will go to left back. But, you know, what a scoreline to keep a clean sheet at the moment against Arsenal. I mean, Donnarumma has been hugely influential in that, but Paris in full control of this tie now, and the supporters are just enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's not a new conversation. We'll be talking about Arsenal and it being another one of those games where they couldn't find the goals that they needed. That's, you know, the draws that they've had in the Premier League. 13 draws in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, I mean, you've got no centre forward on the pitch, and, you know, Martinelli's not in a big goal scoring form. Saka weighs in with a good haul of goals most season, but, you know, they have to work incredibly hard and get incredibly creative in order to get that goal tally up. And, you know, there's been a few little mistakes started to creep in as well. They've conceded a lot from set plays in the last 10 games, and Saliba's making a few little errors with the ball, and just a few things that have crept into the game that have added to this situation. But, you know, it's been a difficult season for Arsenal, and this game is maybe just that one game too far after brilliant performances against Madrid.
So 2-0 on the night. Fabian Ruiz in the first half, and the excellent Achraf Hakimi, the former Real Madrid and Inter man.
Yeah.
So up against his former club in the final he will be, and he's produced some great moments as Trossard wins the ball back from Marquinhos, and here's Saka. Saka's in, and Saka scores, and Arsenal have got a goal back. with 15 minutes to play. Marquinhos is saying that he was fouled by Trossard. Referee's not interested, and Saka finally has been able to get the ball in the net past Donnarumma. 2-1 on the night now, 3-1 on aggregate.
Well, from where I'm sat, I think the referee makes an excellent call. It's a gutsy call as well, because everything's screaming to say this is a foul, but for me, Marquinhos, he knows Trossard's behind him, and he just puts the brakes on and then falls on top of the ball, like so many players do, and the referee just instantly gives a foul. And he doesn't, because he reads it and thinks, well, you're trying to buy that foul. Is there contact and a bit of a shove from Trossard? Yes, there is, but not enough to fall over. He thinks he can just fall on the ball and the referee will give him the foul, and he doesn't. Then it just ends up in the box. There's loads of movement. Saka's running across. Donnarumma gets the save or a block, or maybe it was a Hakimi, and then it's a simple tap in just from 3 yards out into an empty net for Saka, and Arsenal are on the score sheet.
2-1 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. There was a very handy deflection actually from the Trossard pass off Pacho, which took it to Saka, with Donnarumma going down. Here's another ball in, and Saka in the middle couldn't get his head to it as Lucas Hernandez actually came across, and suddenly there's a little bit of concern here in the PSG defence. Donnarumma coming out and he's asking questions. He's saying, what's going on here? You know, they very nearly had another goal there, Arsenal.
Well, he's losing his rag with Kvaratskhelia. He really has had a go at him, and he's kind of pointed to himself going, what, me? Donnarumma's going, yeah, you. He wasn't happy with the intensity in which he got after the ball and stopped Arsenal developing something down the left-hand side.
So Bukayo Saka means Arsenal are on the board as João Neves fires the ball forward, but the referee's going to bring it back for the PSG free kick halfway inside their own half. So Bukayo Saka becomes the first Arsenal player to score in a semi-final since Nicolas Pepe scored with a penalty against Villarreal in 2021 in the Europa League semi-final. So that run of 6 semi-final matches without scoring a goal, that is over. However, I think the phrase that we'll probably use is too little, too late.
Well, however, you did say
still
earlier,
got 12 minutes to play.
You said earlier, these games can turn quickly.
PSG have given it away, and Rice now to Odegaard, and Odegaard with a flick into the path of Pacho of PSG, who's able to just belt it away to the halfway line.
It was a good situation. They turned the ball over in a really dangerous area. Martin Odegaard tried a clever little back heel flick through, and Pacho, who has just covered that back line so well. He's such a tough player to get around. He just seems to read the line of the ball and get blocks, stops little pathways through.
There are jitters here for PSG. Saka's now playing centrally, and here they come again. Trossard back towards the halfway line. You know, this is the pressure. These are the nerves jangling of a team that, you know, a few moments ago thought the job was done. Calafiori through. Saka! Oh, the chance! Saka's put it over the bar. Calafiori's cross. Donnarumma came for it, didn't get there, and behind him, Saka couldn't direct the shot under the crossbar. Open goal, over the top.
I can't believe he's missed it. He can't believe he's missed it. Sat on the floor with his hands on top of his head. He knows this was a massive chance. I mean, he's just got to take the pace off it a little bit and get his upper body over the ball and caress it. Any kind of touch that's underneath the crossbars in the back of the net is flashed across. Brilliant ball in. Donnarumma's at full stretch. He doesn't get there. It goes past the goalkeeper. Saka arrives. He's been in that area, like you said, John, centrally or in the back post every time the play's developing down the left, and he just can't keep the effort down under the crossbars. It would just be in the back of the net, and wow, that would set up the last 10-15 minutes of this game brilliantly.
The jitters are on here for Paris Saint-Germain, and there, in the space of maybe 2 or 3 minutes, Arsenal scored one and could have scored 2 more. Here's Timber coming forward, gets up, loses out, and Nuno Mendes is going to play the ball out to Kvaratskhelia, who's over there on the right-hand side. Hakimi's making a run through the middle again. That's typical them. Kvaratskhelia, though, keeps running and then finds the pass to Fabian Ruiz, and then Dembele with a shot. Raya's able to parry it, pushed it away, back into the penalty area, comes back to Dembele, and then there's a foul on João Neves, centrally by Marino. We saw the waving of the imaginary yellow card from little Neves when he was sitting on the ground, but it's a free kick no more than that.
Well, that needs a yellow card for him then, doesn't it? It should be anyway. I mean, the big difference in this game, when Paris come forward like that, you feel like they're manufacturing slicker, better goal-scoring opportunities than what Arsenal have done. You know, they're getting these wide players on the ball, whichever ones are mixed up, the movements all interchanging. But then once they get their one or two passes off, they really do create a good bit of space and good opportunity. And you know, their clinical edge has been good in this game.
5 Live from the BBC. We're live here at the Parc des Princes. That's Matthew Upson. A little later on, we will, on BBC One, have the highlights, Champions League match of the day, the highlights of this match and tomorrow, last night. And they'll be on the iPlayer as well after 10 o'clock, so you can find the Champions League highlights there. And free kick for Paris Saint-Germain, which is taken short, and then the shot is fizzed in from probably 35 yards. It was passed by Vitinha to Hakimi, who hit it well enough, but it was pulled away left of the goal and behind for a goal kick. Ben White's going to come on as well for Arsenal very shortly, and Timber probably did well to make this. And Mikel Arteta's frustrated because he wanted to make the substitution there. Arsenal through the middle, Marino, here's Declan Rice. Declan Rice had a little look there, he's onside. The cross hits Nuno Mendes, then back to Timber. Now Declan Rice again. Rice, a packed penalty area. Saliba to Partey. Now Odegaard. Odegaard holds off Nuno Mendes, and then the ball bounces away from Declan Rice, and Nuno Mendes is able to bring it forward and then hit a long crossfield pass. That's for Hakimi to chase. His energy is incredible, but he overhits that out of play, and it's a throw into Arsenal.
That was that steam train, isn't he, up and down the right? I mean, one minute he's back, and then he's halfway up the pitch, and then he's back again. I mean, he gets everywhere.
He was telling us yesterday about his nutritionist, Hakimi. He's obviously feeding him the right stuff.
Yeah, well, what's he eating, John?
Well, he didn't tell us.
He didn't disclose.
No. Well, it's full of whatever it needs to be.
Yeah.
Raya, long downfield over the top of Saka, then Odegaard on the challenge with Vitinha. We've got the chaos that Arsenal needed, but PSG have got the lead that they need. 2-1 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate.
Well, Arsenal had the chance as well, though, didn't they? I mean, that from Saka should be in the back of the net. He should have 2 goals in this game. And also Donnarumma, the save he made from him with his left foot was absolutely outstanding. They've had their chances, Arsenal, in fairness. I mean, you have to take your hat off to the way they've gone about the game.
6 minutes to play, plus added time. Arsenal somehow have got to come up with 2 goals without reply. Ball was deflected out for a PSG throw. So Timber was replaced by Ben White. So White now operating at right back. And Arsenal with Saliba in possession. Long and forward from Calafiori. It's a long one. This is for Trossard to chase. Marquinhos comes out with the ball, excellently defended by the PSG captain, the Brazilian captain as well. Hakimi then allows João Neves to find Dembele, and Dembele's first time pass will run to Hakimi. Hakimi right side of the box. Arsenal have got men back. Kvaratskhelia though in the area. It's now very congested in there as Kvaratskhelia takes it back out into the left back area. And is being followed all the way out there by Saliba. He's trying to draw the foul. He's taking it towards the corner flag. Then he goes down, and then the ball has actually run for João Neves. Kvaratskhelia again has got Saliba all over him. The two of them fall off the pitch together. Calafiori it is, and actually it's just a goal kick that's been given as they square up to one another. Calafiori and the assistant has actually come onto the field to stand between them, and it's a yellow card for Calafiori and also a yellow card for Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, you can't square up in that fashion. I mean, the linesman is acting as a bouncer, trying to get his arm between them. He's like a boxing referee. They really are squaring up, and the referee comes over and gets the yellow card out for both players as it's just boiled over a little bit.
Less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes between Paris Saint-Germain and a second Champions League final. They reached that final, the COVID final in Lisbon against Bayern Munich, Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich. There's a foul centre field on Saka.
Yeah, I think it was dissent that from Saka. He felt that he was fouled and he got up and he really let the referee have it.
So frustration.
Yeah.
For Saka.
Yeah.
Said something to the referee. So a free yellow card for Bukayo Saka in a free kick. And Marquinhos down there, I can see him saying to Pacho and to Vitinha, just take as long as you can over this. Yeah. More substitutes are being beckoned forward or called forward by Luis Enrique. It's Thomas Tuchel's PSG that lost in that Champions League final against Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich in Lisbon in 2020. They've had some of the managers who've come through and tried to do what Luis Enrique might be able to do next month. Ancelotti, Laurent Blanc was here for a long time, Unai Emery, of course, mentioned Thomas Tuchel, who got to the final, Mauricio Pochettino, and then Christophe Galtier was the most recent coach before Luis Enrique took over. And it really looks as though Luis Enrique has got everything for this PSG, for this club, pointing in the right direction, and it might well be enough to see them all the way to lifting the trophy. But as we know, Inter are going to be tough opponents with Inzaghi. Arsenal come forward again, needing 2 goals without reply just to take this to extra time. Gonçalo Ramos is going to be that substitute. The Portuguese striker, 15 goals from him this season. We saw him score against Manchester City, the clincher, didn't we, in the league stage, that important victory when they came from 2-0 down. That was when they were in danger of going out of the Champions League, remember, PSG.
I mean, unbelievable. Was it 15th they finished in the league phase? I mean, to then be in this situation where you're moments away from making the final just shows you the journey this team has been on this season, and that they're just a different team to what they were in October, November, and they're now a force to be reckoned with.
It's Nuno Mendes who's off, so Gonçalo Ramos is on. Long throw for Arsenal, again Partey, but that's headed back out, and he gets that down. Here's the cross, in towards the back post. Ben White gets up with the header. Lucas Hernandez did his job, there's high fives all around. Ben White could only had it wide and behind, and it's a goal kick to PSG. And Pacho says to the PSG supporters, get on your feet, and they do. All around the stadium, the 2 tiers under this immense concrete roof above our heads. They're on their feet, they've got their red, blue and white scarves, they're twirling them, they're singing their Paris Saint-Germain songs. They're nearly there. Just over a minute to play, just over a minute to go. Donnarumma, one of the men of the night, if not the man of the match. Donnarumma takes this goal kick which comes off Gonçalo Ramos' head and now is out of play. Mikel Arteta says, come on, let's get that ball back. They're not giving it up yet, of course. Need 2 goals without reply just to take this to extra time. Odegaard jumps with Vitinha, but it bounces down for Fabian Ruiz. He scored the opening goal tonight. Now Kvaratskhelia carrying the ball out towards the right hand side. I wouldn't be surprised if he just keeps going with it down that right wing. He does. Rice is there, Calafiori puts in a challenge, takes the ball away from Kvaratskhelia, who gets up and roars to the crowd to make some noise over in that section as well. Kvaratskhelia, signed from Napoli in January, who might well win the Italian league ahead of Inter by the time we get to the Champions League final. I wonder if that means that he'll get 2 league championship winning medals this season. 5 minutes of added time running out for Arsenal and for Mikel Arteta.
I mean, it would be some league season if you got 2 championship winning medals and the Champions League winning medal.
France, Italy and the Champions League.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, and they've got to go off to the FIFA Club World Cup, of course, as well. In the summer, they're one of the teams that are in that. They're in a group with Atletico Madrid, Seattle Sounders and Botafogo. So we are into those 5 minutes of added time. And PSG playing the ball back towards the edge of the area. Again, if you just switched on tonight, the first 20 minutes tonight of this second leg were absolutely crucial. Arsenal were excellent in that spell, but couldn't get the goal. They couldn't find the goal to bring the tie back level. And Fabian Ruiz was able to sweep in a magnificent shot from the edge of the area to make it 1-0 on the night. That became 2-0, Hakimi's goal. Bukayo Saka got one back, but Arsenal now just minutes away from going out at the semi-final stage. With their second semi-final defeat of the season after Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. Ben White now into the penalty area. Ben White's cross, glanced by Marino, but wide at the far post with his head. 10 yards out, behind goal kick PSG. And Arsenal's players out there, the body language does tell you that they know the game is nearly up.
Yeah, 3 players arriving in the box. Because he checked onto his left foot there, Ben White, their momentum is then stationary when the ball comes in, and they can't get any power or purchase on the header to really trouble Donnarumma, and it ends up being a bit of a glancing flick from Marino that goes harmlessly wide, and they just haven't quite made enough of those situations they've got in this evening, Arsenal, certainly in and around when there's crosses come into the box.
5 Live Sport will be on air tonight until 10:30. We'll try and bring you some reaction from Mikel Arteta before 10:30. If not, it'll be on the Champions League debrief on the Football Daily feed on BBC Sounds. Here's Declan Rice. Declan Rice, in comes the challenge on him from Pacho. Then back to Partey. Odegaard on the right flank down near the corner flag. Odegaard back to Ben White, puts his foot on the ball. Infield towards Thomas Partey. Then back towards Saliba. Odegaard away from Lucas Hernandez. And then Thomas Partey. Then to the edge of the area. Declan Rice, the man against Real Madrid. And here's Trossard now, who finds some space, and Trossard shoots, but that's blocked inside the penalty area by João Neves, and out it goes for a throw-in over on the left-hand side that Arsenal will take. We've got just over 2 minutes of added time to play. Arsenal have to score twice. Kivior's now up there as well. It's Kivior who won the throw-in over on the far side. A throw-in, Partey to take this. Right up against the hoardings. Here's the long throw for Arsenal into the penalty area. A little flick, then it's poked by Trossard, but it just ran away, dribbled away from him, and Donnarumma just follows the ball and then flops down on it and then climbs to his feet. Marino turns away frustratedly. And I make it, we've got 90 seconds left, Matt.
Yeah, I think Thomas Partey's arms might be a bit sore tomorrow from the amount of throw-ins that he's had to sling into the PSG box to try and cause a bit of chaos. It hasn't quite had the effect where anything has dropped bar in that opening 15 minutes, and you've already alluded to it, John. It was crucial that something landed for Arsenal in that period, and it would have been possibly a different story.
Yes, the high for Arsenal was the quarter-final against Real Madrid. They're going out to this excellent Paris Saint-Germain team that Luis Enrique has moulded. This is second season, already French champions. And it looks as though in the next few seconds the whistle will go and send them to the Champions League final in Munich later this month. Donnarumma long and downfield. Raya's able to bring that down. It's 2-1 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. Saliba, perhaps the final attack. We're in the last 30 seconds now. Here's one for Saka to chase into the area. Saka across, but Marquinhos also is able to win the ball, win the race to it against Marino, and he plonks it out of play down in front of us. Looking down the stand here in front of us, all of the PSG supporters, thousands of them now, all around the Parc des Princes with their scarves in the air. They're nearly there. Arsenal heading out. Thomas Partey with the long throw. I think this will be the last action of the match. In comes the throw. There's the clearance from Coutinho. There's the final whistle. And Paris Saint-Germain have knocked out Arsenal in the semi-finals. Paris Saint-Germain are going to Munich. Arsenal are out. These two clubs with their big dreams of winning the Champions League, well, not this year for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. And Luis Enrique is surrounded by his coaching staff. Luis Enrique, already a Champions League winner with Barcelona. Now he'll try and do what so many before him have failed to do with Paris Saint-Germain. He's got Inter and Filippo Inzaghi to get past in 3 weeks' time in the final. What a final that should be. But Arsenal players standing with hands on hips, looking at the turf, just like 16 years ago. Last time they were in a Champions League semi-final, it's ended in defeat. 2-1 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, difficult to take for Arsenal. Another semi-final that they end up losing. It's becoming a little bit of a habit, which isn't great. But what I will say, John, is I think that you have to look at the performance and the way that Arsenal approached this game. And there was a lot of positives about how they went about it. They didn't get the desired result. Donnarumma pulled brilliant saves out at key moments where they really needed to score a goal, and it just didn't happen for them in this game. But PSG, for me, out of all the Champions League teams I've seen this season, they're in a special moment here at this club. And I think, there's a real feeling for me that this is going to be their time.
Yeah, much more on that very subject, I'm sure, after 10 o'clock. But we've got wild scenes of celebration here at the end of the semi-final. It's so tough for the losers. Arsenal's players going across to their fans in the corner. And that PSG theme, Go West, blaring out inside the stadium. The Arsenal song, but it's Paris Saint-Germain's night. 2-1 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. Paris Saint-Germain are in the final.